The sixth level of thinking is creating. This is the highest form of thinking. You create new ideas and information. Creation is almost never a fully individual process. We use our creativity to link old ideas together in new ways. Creation is the most important point from Bloom's taxonomy. Create to learn. Creating entails activities like designing, constructing, producing, planning, inventing, and making. You create songs, paintings, games, technology, articles, stories, or plans. Anything a creative faculty can conjure up. Creation includes all the other levels of thinking: remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, and evaluating. Creative processes are highly rewarding because they tend to stimulate large releases of feel-good neurotransmitters. Like we saw in the flow section, creativity is a powerful flow trigger. When you create something, you're using your mind at a totally different level. And in addition, you'll frequently enter flow and feel amazing. It is not always obvious how creation is applicable to what you're learning, however. It takes a bit of creativity just to find ways you can incorporate creation in your learning strategy. Here are 3 examples of how you can turn different subjects into a process of creation. The first example is if you want to learn how to do programming. You can probably imagine how difficult it would be to learn programming by just reading about it. Start with the goal of creating something. Preferably, it should be something you yourself want or need, or something you can see someone else need. Like an alarm clock app that says inspirational quotes until you've gotten out of bed. With programming, it is quite obvious that creation is a great way to learn, but that is not always the case. What about those subjects that are purely theoretical? How do you create something if you're studying something like philosophy? Say you're doing a 3-year degree in philosophy, studying the most important philosophers of our time. One way you can learn by starting with creating is to create your own work of philosophy by drawing from the knowledge of all the best philosophers. An example is trying to find the one common denominator between all the largest philosophers, the common truth, and write a book about it. This can be a project that spans your entire degree in philosophy. You could of course also create by doing smaller projects than this. The last example is if you want to learn physiotherapy. You can then create an exercise program for people with weak core musculature. To create a quality course, you need to remember all the most important aspects of creating a strong and healthy core. You need to understand how the muscles interact and which muscles are typically too weak or too tight. You apply what you learn. You analyze and you evaluate your product. An added benefit of creating a product is that you learn a whole range of other skills in the process. Creating a good program is more than just about the facts. You also learn things like how to structure your program so that the student understands and takes action, which is an art in itself. There is a specific area in life where you should almost always start with the highest level of thinking. If you wish to become an entrepreneur, the time to start is now. And you start with the goal of creating something. You can read as much as you want, but you'll never be fully ready to be an entrepreneur. Learning as you go in a creation process is not only the fastest way to learn, but it's the way to entrepreneurship. You've just learned about the different levels of thinking and how you can utilize them in your learning strategies. By now you understand that just passively reading or going to lectures without any clear purpose is largely a waste of time. Now it is up to you to start actively using higher forms of thinking. To learn the content in this course, identify how you can use the different ideas in contexts that involve higher levels of thinking. In the coming lectures, we will go into 3 of the most famous theories on how learning happens.